All right, so for everybody who is just joining us now, this is Mr. Zachary Levi, obviously, and we are going to do a virtual Q&A. This is not really any different than when you step up to the microphone at one of our panels. This is a virtual microphone. We've got 33 hands raised right now. We're going to bring you in the order that your hand was raised.
Okay.
And turn on your camera, and Zach will be able to see you, and you guys will be able to have your conversation.
Who's first? I hear someone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
There you go. What's going on, Tabitha? Tabitha Zach. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I saw you in MegaCon Orlando, but I'm very shy, so I just kind of walked past the end of the booth and left.
That's okay. That happens.
Yeah, I was also working upstairs, face painting little kids. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, just passed by. So I just wanted to ask you how you're coping with all of the changes in the world right now.
Oh, wow, that's a good one. Well, if anybody, you or anybody else out there watching right now is watching any of my Instagram lives, which I try to do a good bit of, I like doing them, but also there's a lot of other life and things going on. And sometimes, I don't know, I'm just always, I want to make sure that I always have at least something to say when I do them, because I don't like being white noise. If I'm going to be noise, I want it to be something that's somehow pleasing to somebody's ears. I know that's not always the case. But in all of my Instagram lives, I talk about honestly, how grateful I am that I had the presence of mind to buy a bunch of acreage in Austin, Texas, where I live and have lived for 3 years. And it's kind of the perfect place to ride out an apocalypse, as it turns out. And I was already building, this kind of, I don't know, arts commune resort of sorts that I'm still working at. And so I already had a half a dozen people here that were communing and working and living. And so I'm in a very, very blessed position in all of this craziness. I have room to breathe in, and beautiful room at that. And I have lovely people around me who, thank God, cook far better than I do. So I have great food and everyone's pitching in. And yeah, I'm just, all of that makes me feel very, very groovy. But then even beyond that, I will say that, and I've talked about this on my IG live, but I know that right now there's a lot of unrest, fear, stress, anxiety, depression, just sadness. And we're all feeling at least some of that. Some of us are feeling all of it. Some of us are going through the hardest moment in our lives. And oddly, or ironically, I suppose, some people are having an incredible moment right now. And that's for a variety of reasons. There are so many silver linings. Some of them are affecting all of us, like our environment coming back to life. Like that's a huge silver lining that we can all look to. Even if we're in our saddest moment, go, wow, the big, like, the drumming end of the world of the way we're treating our planet that we were marching toward, and global warming and all the things that were causing a lot of us stress. All of a sudden, at least we get a little bit of a reprieve, and we go, oh, wow, the environment's that's breathing again, the water's cleaning up and the air is cleaning up. And, that's one thing you can take to just kind of literally breathe into your lungs and into your soul and go, okay, maybe there is some hope at the end of a light at the end of this tunnel. And then, look at all of the other, I think, things that are not hard to find if you're looking for them, like people who hated their job that can't wait to go back to their job, kids who hated going to school that can't wait to go back to school, teachers that felt unappreciated that now, all the parents are having to do their job for them. And I think those teachers are feeling very appreciated. Not that that's the end of that. We still need to pay them better and really take care of everybody better. But so, yeah, I think that there's a lot. And look, and in moments like this, and in moments of crisis and major shifting, this is tectonic plates of society that are shifting. I think this is a great opportunity for people who care about making a better world to look at all of these very clearly broken systems that are now under the holding up what is now a very fragile economy. So there's a lot of room and opportunity for change, and change for the good, I think. So all of that stuff gives me a lot of hope, beyond the fact that I believe in a God that loves us all. And I really do think even through all of this, there is love to be found, and there will be a better world to be found.
That's awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I appreciate all your openness, and I don't want to take anybody else's time, but thank you for answering.
My pleasure. Absolutely. Have a great day.
Teresa.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Teresa Phillips, what's up?
Awesome. My family and I are huge fans of yours, and we're huge fans of MCU and DCU.
Well, you have excellent taste.
My question is, how did it feel being able to play a character in both of those universes?
In both the Marvel Universe and the DC Universe?
Yes.
Pretty much what you think it feels like. It feels awesome. It feels so awesome. I was so stoked that I mean, look, growing up a kid reading tons of comic books and loving comic books and even drawing my own horribly when I was younger, and then realizing I have no talent for this. I should stick to being a ham, you know. But I've dreamt of those worlds. I played out those worlds as a kid. We would run around pretending to be these characters, me and my buddies. No cosplay, no props, no nothing. Just running around pretending to be Wolverine and Gambit and Superman and Batman, and just making sound effects and, you know, I got you, no, I got you first, like all that kind of stuff. So to get to do that, like as an adult for real and get paid to do it is it's the stupidest. My whole life has been so insanely blessed that I get to be an actor at all. I think is one of the coolest gifts ever. One of the coolest jobs, and also like the platform and privilege God has given me with all of that, and the ability to do just stuff like this and go to conventions and meet folks like you. And like, I don't know, it's so groovy. And I wish that Fandrall would have had a better look. I wish the Warriors 3 would have had a better look in that whole franchise, but that's not up to me. That was up to Kevin Feige and the powers that be. And I think that, you know, all in all, they obviously created a very robust and substantial and cool universe that dominated the box office for 10 years, and kudos to them. And, you know, like I said, it would have been great to have been Fandrall when I first got cast, but Chuck got in the way of that, and Josh Dallas did a great job. But then I finally, you know, getting to finally then be in it, I actually still got to tick that off. Okay, I made it in the Marvel Universe. But I really did think that was going to be the end of my superhero portraying, because I was 36, I think, when I last played Fandrall, and I didn't think that there was going to be another opportunity for me, to be perfectly honest, you know, to play a superhero in either Marvel or in DC. So to then get, you know, as I joke and say, unceremoniously killed in Ragnarok, only to be redeemed and revived and brought back to life as my own superhero in my own spandex and my own cape, and that I get to be a 14-year-old kid. Yeah. Like, it's the greatest. I never would I ever not want to trade that for that, ever. And as it turns out, as I thought about it one day, I was like, I don't know. I mean, there are other people. There are actually quite a few other people that have gotten to play in both the DC and Marvel sandboxes. But I don't know of one other person, and I think this is a fun badge of honor to hold, that I don't know of one other person that has been in the a Marvel superhero, a DC superhero, and a Disney prince. I don't know any that have done that. So I think I hold that exclusively, and I'm real fucking proud of that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying.
Oh, you're welcome. Sorry. Is that mine or hers?
I think it was a technical glitch on that side. Thank you, Trace.
Okay, copy.
We're gonna go with the family next.
Ooh.
Hi.
What's up? I can't see anybody.
Hey, we're gonna call you Zach.
Hey. This is actually one of the fun parts about doing virtual conventions, right? Because, like, instead of you guys having to queue up and wait and stand around for so long, you're just chilling on the couch all together. That's great. That's awesome. What's going on? What's everybody's names?
This is Samuel.
The Professor Zetcha.
This is Larissa and Soraya. I'm Melody, and this is
Bob.
And this is
What's up, everybody? I'm sorry. Can I ask you? Is that a bird on your glasses?
Yes, that's a bird.
Raphael. Well,
Raphael. All right.
Well, technically, I call him Ralphie, except me. I call him Raphael.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're in a unique position just like you, because we have 11 people in this house.
What?
Yeah, and so we're quarantined with 11 people. So it's not.
Is that all just one big happy family?
It It's me and my brother's family, so it's
yours and your brother's family. Okay, yeah. I've got some other friends that they took their kids over to one of their siblings' houses and they all did it together as well. Yeah, which I think, in some ways, I think is quite lovely. I mean, I don't know 11 people in the same house. I don't know how large the house is and how much room you all have, but I hope you're staying as safe and sane as possible.
Yeah. Well, my question for you is about being a voice actor. So this is Larissa, and she actually wants to be an actress. And I thought maybe voice acting would be the way to go for her. And I was wondering, what's the difference between being a voice actor and then a live? Like, which is your favorite? And what do you think the differences are?
Leave your sister alone. I love them both so much. They share some DNA, and then there's other stuff about them that are quite different. You know, when with live acting, I mean, obviously let's just say live acting for, like, you know, in movies or TV or whatever. You've got hair and makeup that you got to go sit through. For girls, it takes a little bit longer because you guys get a little more glammed up than guys need to. So, you know, there's like an hour and a half of that in the mornings for a lot of the girls. There's about an hour and a half of hair and makeup. Hour to an hour and a half, just depends. And by the way, if you're doing any movie, guy or girl, if you're doing a movie that has like prosthetics or anything in it where you have to like become another creature, how complex that creature is determines how long you're going to end up sitting in that chair. Like, I don't know if you've seen any behind the scenes of like Jim Carrey becoming the Grinch or anything where there's heavy prosthetics. That could be 4 hours. You could be sitting. So that means your call time to set in the morning is a pre-call hours even before everyone else gets there, so that you and your makeup artist can be putting you together. When I did Thor, I had to. I had bleached my hair blonde, and I bleached my facial hair blonde, but I still had to wear a blonde wig to make my hair longer. And just making sure all of my bleachedness got all the touch-ups it needed, and all of my just wig got put on. I mean, that was like a 2 hour. I had to get there at work. The sun wasn't even up yet. I hated it, and it was so bad. I mean, of course, you're still stoked because you get to be an actor and you're, you know, being in a movie. But so there's all that stuff, and then also, you know, there's wardrobe and costumes and sets and lots of other people, and you're doing your scenes together, and which, by the way, is not necessarily good or bad. It's just the details of it all, and some people deal with all that differently. And if you're successful in it, the money can be very good. Although, you know, I don't know what's going to happen to Hollywood post COVID-19 and all that. I don't know what's going to happen to all the industries post COVID-19, but I believe we're all going to make it somewhere together. And I really do believe it'll be a better somewhere. I don't know what it will be. I don't know how we're going to get there, but I'm determined to help bring whatever part of this I can to betterment. And so there's all that. Being an animated voice, being a voice actor, I mean, quite literally, you could roll in unshowered, unshorn, not even brush your teeth if you didn't want to. I mean, still be, you know, keep pandemic distances if you haven't brushed your teeth. 6 feet, please, 6 feet. But and you don't even need to memorize your lines because they're all right there for you on a piece of paper. And it's real fun, but it's a lot. And this is what, for some people, this is a lot more fun, that you have to use far more of your imagination. Because when you're doing live acting, you get all of the cool details. You get the wardrobe, you get the costume, you get the props, you get the other actors, you get the sets and all of the things. You feel immersed in this other cool world, right? If you can just tune out that there's cameras and microphones all around you and there's some other crew people that might be watching the scene, you're really immersed in the world that you're creating. In an animation booth, it's just you in your pajamas, and you're by yourself in there. You don't really record with the other actors, and you really have to also. There's a cool challenge, but it is a challenge nonetheless, in bringing a character to life entirely with just your voice, and trusting that the animator, that you're giving enough to the animators, and they're talented enough to then bring all of that voice to life and all of your mannerisms and gestures and all of that kind of stuff. You know, and the greatest animators, they know how to do that because they study human kinesiology and animal kinesiology and how things move and how they would express themselves, you know. And so it's similar in that you are having to create a character from scratch, but very different in the amount of tools and the types of tools that you're given when you create those different characters. And then also the enjoyability level, depending on what it is that you really want to be feeling. Do you want to, do you like not having all of those, pieces kind of filled in for you and you get to create it all and try and make the character work with just your voice? Or do you want to do that? I mean, look, in my opinion, I don't think one is better than the other. I think they're both great, and I hope I get to do both of them for the rest of my life. I can't believe I got to be Flynn Rider, Eugene Fitzherbert, for 10 years now. Like, I got to do a movie and a TV show, and my voice is in the parks, and there's people that are dressed up like me and wanted posters that still don't get my nose right. All over. Like, it's the coolest ever. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm so grateful that I get to be Flynn, but I'm also so grateful that I get to be Chuck Bartowski and Shazam and all the other things I've gotten to be, so I don't know. I would say just keep pursuing it. Keep pursuing performing or being an artist or entertaining. Pursue those in general sense, and then allow you, your family, your friends, God, the universe to help guide you to what specific part of that you feel is most enjoyable for you or most productive for you, or how, or that you can be most productive in and doing for the world, or maybe all those things are the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would recommend, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does. Thank you so much.
I have a question.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Come on. Every time I have a question.
It's okay. Well, you got to make it quick because there's a lot of people behind you. Yeah.
Okay, remember it. So, how has, so I know like all these industries are being affected by the virus, but what's the effect with,
the movie?
There's an obvious effect with like them showing the movies and how they're showing it. I mean, like people postponing it or releasing it on different things, but what's it like behind the scenes with this COVID-19 things? Like, has all movie production been stopped?
Yeah, so basically everything as far as, well, you guys are all aware of whatever, where are you at in the world right now?
Oh, we've been Arizona. We're in Arizona.
You're in Arizona. Okay, so I don't know what the Arizona statutes are at the moment. Texas just opened up a little bits of, like, you can actually go to movie theaters now in Texas, but they can only have, it's still 6 feet apart per group. So I don't know how a lot of this stuff is actually going to ultimately work for a lot of these industries, like bottom lines. Like, how do you make enough money with that few people in your establishment and also keep your staff employed and all that? Like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how all of the industries react to this. And it's going to be there's no going back to normal. It's only going forward to a new normal while we're waiting on a vaccine. And I don't know how long that's going to be. So in Hollywood, we're all still trying to figure that out, because in order to make a movie, typically you have to have hundreds of people all together in the same place. That's how you do it. So a lot of different people are trying a lot of different things right now. I've got a few ideas of my own, but as of right now, everything's just kind of on hold until there's a solution, until there's like something that, people have kind of figured out, and this is how we can move forward and go back to work safely and effectively,
So much. Thank you so much.
Wait,
Thank you.
also-
No, we gotta go because people are behind me and they want to ask questions too. No, so nice to meet you guys.
All right, Roman, you're up.
Hey, Zachary. My name is Roman, and I'm a huge fan of yours. And I have
Thanks,
a few questions. Yeah, I love your movies and series and all of that. So my question is, what is the most fun thing you do with the cast on Shazam?
The most fun thing I did with the cast on Shazam, oh man, I don't know. I mean, honestly, just hanging out on set. I like being a ham. I like just cracking jokes and singing songs, and I mean, it helps me get through the day. But I also like entertaining people. I take a lot of joy in that, and so a lot of times it would just be on set and goofing around, or we all got these. My gift to my cast was Nintendo Switches, so we could all, even the kids and the adults and everybody, could all play Mario Kart against each other and bond and whatever. So that was fun. And I I think, you know, hanging out with all the adult supers, and just going and having dinners and going to karaoke and just getting to know each other. And I just like life stuff, you know. I like getting to know people and spending quality time with them. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of fun little things that we did, but it was also, you know, it was also tough work sometimes. I mean, it was the middle of winter in Toronto and it was cold, man. It was real cold. And we were also working a lot too. So where are you calling from in the world? Where are you at?
I'm from El Paso, Texas.
No, you're in El Paso. Okay, cool, man.
Yeah, it's not a very famous place to get acting and being an actor, but I want you to tell me and advise, how do I become an actor if I'm from another state that is not very popular for acting?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I would say most actors come from places that aren't popular places for actors. You know, most people come from the El Pasos of the world, like yourself, or Ventura, California, like I grew up in. And I moved down to LA. That's, you know, that's where I went because at the time, that's where you needed to go if you wanted, well, that or New York, I suppose, if you really wanted to make a try at becoming an actor. Now it's not really the same. Now you can, if you really want to be an actor, well, in some ways it's the same, but in other ways it's different. A lot of people can now, you know, with YouTube, you can go make your own little short films and act in them. And I mean, they can be very good. There's prosumer technology that's available now, and even online courses that you can take in filmmaking and acting. And I mean, it's available to you right now in El Paso. So if you really want to be a great actor, you can start right now at home on the same screen that you're looking at. And you can go learn and dive into that and read books about the subject and study your favorite actors and your favorite films of theirs and see the way that they break down characters. And then if you really are serious about, you know, getting up off and out of your room and away from the screen, and you want to go get yourself into an acting class, I would highly recommend it. Just make sure you're working with a vetted acting teacher that knows what they're talking about. And if they have some kind of a showcase where they're able to record your sessions and get them to casting directors or whatever, then that's a great thing too. But that would be my best advice for anybody trying to get into the acting game right now.
Yeah, and so really want to go to Austin, Texas, because there are also opportunities to.
Oh yeah, Austin's the grooviest. Yeah, I think it's the most culturally, artistically driven city in Texas. If you're going to try and get into acting, maybe, you know, I mean, there's opportunities in San Antonio and Houston and Dallas and other places too, but Austin's the kind of artsy fartsy, you know, corner of Texas. So yeah, cool.
Because I really want to go to UT Austin because
you should.
Because Matthew McConaughey works there. So
yeah.
Want to
not a bad instructor, bro. All right. Yeah. Well, Roman, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. I gotta go. Oh man. Awesome. This is me virtually signing your pop.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, I lost him. Hey, Brian, what's going on, man?
Doing all right. I jotted down a few quick questions on my phone while everybody else was talking, but first, I just wanted to say I hope you, as well as both of the interpreters, are doing well. I figure they need an extra shout out for, you know, their hard work too.
Oh, our ASL girls are the bomb. Hi, ladies.
So my first question, comment was, when I went to go see Shazam with a friend of mine in a local theater here in Maryland, when it came out, the thing that kind of surprised me the most was that they fully introduced the rest of the Shazam family in the first movie. So with that in mind, what surprises are you aware of, or do you hope for to appear in the sequel?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know? Not a chance. Well, the truth is I don't know much because they're still working on the script. I know some general stuff, and I'm super stoked about all of the general stuff that I've heard. But I mean, ultimately what I want, man, I just want the movie to be better than what we gave people the first time, which I think was a really good movie. I mean, are there flaws in it? Are there other ways that it could have been better polished or whatever? Sure. Most movies have bits and pieces about them that don't unfortunately get fully cooked or fully polished based on the pipeline of making movies and all that. But I think all in all, and you know, you can tell me if you agree, but we made a good movie, a solid movie that still remained in the 90 percentile on Rotten Tomatoes and still made so many people really happy and brought people a lot of joy. And that was awesome. So if we can just do at least that, I'm going to be stoked. And if we can do more than that, that's what I'm hoping. I want to bring all that same joy and polish and fix and do whatever we can to the other structures or things that could make that tighter. But yeah, the whole Shazam League getting revealed in the first movie, I actually think was a great idea because there's the movie's about childhood wish fulfillment. I mean, really, right? I mean, it's about a lot of things, but one of the biggest things is childhood wish fulfillment and wish fulfillment for any of us who have ever dreamed when we were kids of being a superhero. So to be able to give the audience that really cool payoff where it's not just the one kid, but all of a sudden, all of these kids get to see themselves as superheroes on screen. And the fact that, you know, we got such an incredible opportunity to have such a diverse rainbow cast of not just ethnicities, but also one of the kids is disabled in Freddie, and all of them are foster kids. And we got to tell that story, tell their story. Like, that's super freaking cool, you know?
And my friend and I both thought it was one of the better of the more recent DC movies. So my other two things, I'll say quickly. One, do you have one of the costumes at your home? And two, with one of my favorite, and this kind of goes towards you as a voice actor, with one of my favorite TV shows coming back tomorrow, I was hoping you might be able to give us a little bit of an impression of Rick and or Morty.
Yeah. Wait, what was the first comment?
If you kept one of the
yeah. So I didn't keep the suit. I didn't keep any suit. I mean, I love that I get to wear that suit. That suit is also insanely uncomfortable, so I would have no reason to put it on in my free time. Also, it's a bit hot in Texas right now. I think I might just melt in it. But I did keep in the strip club that's in Shazam that I go and get the wings and come back out. And then we also like teleport there later when Savannah's chasing us. That strip club is called the Booty Trap. And I asked production, I was like, can I please take that neon sign? I would love to have that for perpetuity. So I have that sign. It broke being shipped here, but I'm getting it fixed and I'm going to put it in my gym. I just think that's hysterical. And then for Rick and Morty, yeah, like, oh, gee, Rick, I don't want to go to the future and go kill big zombies. Shut up, Morty. You're going to come anyway.
All right. Well, that's everything I have. So thank you.
Cheers, buddy. Nice to meet you.
All right, real quick, let's try and, there's a lot of people with their hands up. We got about 90 people online, 257 people on the call here. And
hi, everybody.
We want to make sure that Zach has time to answer as many questions as possible. So try and keep it to one if you can. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Rapid fire.
Hi, I have I'll just drop to my very quick question. Dead Robin here, big fan at work. If you speaking to Flynn Rider right now, if you got into a smoldering gaze competition with The Rock, who do you think would win?
Well, of course I'd win. I mean, I started the smolder. I'm the one who made up the smolder, not The Rock, not Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which I believe is his full legal name. Flynn Rider. That's who wins a smolder off. Thank you very much. I think you good?
Hello. Oh, it's me.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, what's up, Tamra?
Nothing much. My question's actually very simple. You post on Instagram a lot of pictures of like the sunset.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing a time lapse of that? Because I think it would be really pretty.
Oh yeah, plenty of the people of my fellow ranch mates do time lapses all the time, and I think we should probably have some of that up at our Insta, which is currently right now it's at Camp Wildwood. I'll make sure that we put some more time lapses up there.
That'd be great because it's super pretty, and also in an Instagram live, if you could sing a little Pippin someday.
A little Pippin? Okay, I've work on it. I've never learned any Pippin, so I'll try.
Great, thanks. All right. On to the
next.
Oh, hey, it's hello from Germany.
What's up, Germany?
Hello. No, I just wanted to say hello. I'm a fellow Texan. I love all the pictures that you take of the sunset. It makes me miss home.
There it is.
So pretty.
There it
but
is.
I just want to say hello, and I love Shazam. That was an amazing movie.
Thank you.
It was awesome. So hopefully I'll get to sing with you on one of your lives. But I'm usually asleep when you're doing it.
I mean, that's the trick with Germany.
I know.
Yeah.
But have an amazing day.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. What time is it there right now? What's up? Hi. Hey.
How you doing, Zach?
Deadpool. Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, it's kind of a random thing that came about when I was in a competition for a Ryan Reynolds movie poster, and it's kind of stuck with me. But anyways,
you look like you got like a proper podcast studio in there, bro.
Well, my wife and I were youth workers. We podcast. We do a lot to reach teens. So it's kind of one of the things that we do, and it's pretty cool, man.
Copy that. Nice.
I just had one question for you. Since we do work with teens, I got my wife and kids here. We actually got my kids into Chuck. Sorry, it's not the question, but they're loving it right now, by the way.
Well, they can come around and wave or something.
Easy, come say hi to Zach.
At least wave.
He can wave. Get in there and wave.
Looks like you got a little Chuck robe on.
A Chuck? Oh yeah, he's got his Chuck robe going. We'll go with that. No, but just one thing for all the teens we work with that are struggling with depression and anxiety. What's one just good piece of advice? I know you bang the mental health drum, and I love that because I direct people to you all the time about, hey, look what this guy has to say because he's got awesome stuff. So what's that one?
Cheers, thanks, man.
No problem, man. What's that one thing that you would give teens and kids and those that they kind of struggle with anxiety and mental health right now?
Well, honestly, I know that I kind of sound like I'm kicking a dead horse when I say this, because I say it more than anything else, because I think honestly it's the root of, or at least one of the main ingredients of whatever the root of all of our anxieties and depressions and stresses and anything that's affecting us negatively, mentally or emotionally or physically, because it can manifest physically sometimes, often, I don't know.
Just go with it, man. It's
but the root, I really truly believe the root is that we need to love ourselves more. And we are just unfortunately not taught to love ourselves more. And I can see the cross back on your wall there. A lot of people who grow up in very Christian homes never learned how to grow up learning to love themselves, because I legitimately don't think that humans have been listening to God enough for long enough to understand what it means to be eternally and forever loved. We keep putting all of these subjective like benchmarks on that. If you can meet this, if you can be this, if you can, whatever that is, then you can be loved. And including even our own religions that we put on people, like, well, if you just believe in this, then God will love you. Then that, and I don't believe that, not for a heartbeat. Because if we believe in the eternal, ever present and never leaving us love of our Creator, then that's it. That's the bottom line. And if you can genuinely like grab onto that, and I'm not even trying to profess any particular religion or anything. I'm just saying, just believe that there is an author of all of this, and that author is for you, and you have an inherent and infinite value in you. We are both, I believe, infinitely valuable and entirely unimportant. We are both those things. And if we can accept that, it actually brings a whole bunch of peace to your life, because you realize that you are entirely lovable, which means you can be patient with yourself and kind with yourself and empathetic with yourself and love yourself, value yourself, not chide and chastise yourself like we do, because we learned that from our parents who learned it from their parents and so on and so forth. So not only can you calm a lot of those anxieties and stresses and things, fears, through just loving yourself, but then also accepting that you are entirely unimportant. The world is not made or broken by your existing in it. The fact that you exist in it is a miracle and an amazing one. And you have infinite possibility and potential in you that God can use for all and any purposes. But we're also all of us, infinitely small specks of sand on an infinitely large mosaic made up of infinitely small specks of sands. You know what I mean? Like, that allows us to kind of let the pressures of all this life drop off of us and go, wow, I'm not the one holding up the world. I'm not even the one holding up my own world, for that matter. I just need to love my world. I need to appreciate my world. I need to be grateful for my world that I've been given. that's finite. I'm here and I'm gone. We're, you know, so if we can wrap our heads around these concepts, I really think that we can get back to being better, stronger people. And then collectively we will be better and stronger as a society and as a people group.
Yeah, I mean, it's never beating a dead horse, man. People need to hear that, and I think it's amazing. So keep banging that drum because it helps a whole lot of people.
Yeah, man. No, I won't stop. I won't stop.
Yeah,
I won't stop until it's all solved, and I don't think it'll all be solved in my lifetime. So I won't stop.
No, love you, man. God bless you, though, bro.
God bless you too, man.
Where I got that dad pool moniker, that's what I turned in. So that's kind of where it started. My kids beating up on me, and anyways, yeah. Love
Very
you, though.
cool, man. Take it easy.
Hi.
Hi, what's going on, Tina?
Nice to meet you.
You too.
I feel like you have sponsored our quarantine because we've been watching like Tangled the Series, Shazam, Chuck, and the kids even got into She Loves Me on Broadway.
Yeah. Wow, you guys are you're doing it. You're getting all the highlights.
It's been fantastic. I just wanted to ask, Wildwood looks amazing, and you're building such a unique campus of creative people. Have you thought about doing a documentary or like a reality series about it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm in the process of trying to put that together right now. Yeah. I mean, look, I moved out here to try and build my version of Disney World, essentially. And it's a very audacious, Willy Wonka, crazy idea that I put a lot of thought and time and empathy into. And I think it can work. I think it will work. But it might blow up in my face. I have no idea. Either way, having a camera crew on it is going to be a fun narrative. Right. You know, I'm doing my darndest to not end up being the next Firefest. But I'm going to try to build something that's different and powerful. And so, yeah, I am well underway of trying to get that crew out here shooting it all and trying to get it, you know, shot and cut and put together and aired during all of this. So people can, so it's more real time and not like everybody sees it 6 months from now when all this stuff is kind of wrapped up, you know, although I don't know that it'll be wrapped up in 6 months either. I mean,
believe me,
nobody knows. It's the weirdest, but we got to keep. What's that?
I'm on day 54 of being home with a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old. So I don't think it's done, but I cherish.
Hey, listen to your mom. She knows a little bit more than you most of the time. Okay.
But we really appreciate like your lives. I mean, it just takes us to a different place. And it's nice to just kind of, you know, see that. We're in Chicago. It's cold here. We can't get outside.
Oh, yeah.
And even, I mean, you've really inspired me to work out too. Like I put that into my daily routine because you're right. I mean, the more I'm a counselor too. So like, you're right. The more you move, you're in a better headspace.
Oh, you got to move, girl. You got to move. The kids got to move. You got to move. We're meant to do it. Let's not forget we were wild animals at one point, and now we've all figured out these fun little boxes to live in. But we used to run around and chase game and eat it. Like, you know, we moved. So it's only good for your body and your mental and emotional well-being. It's so good. What's up, little man? I see you made it into the shot. What's up? Hi, bye. I'm out of here.
Yeah. He doesn't have time.
Well, nice to meet you guys.
Thank you. We hope to meet you in person someday.
Absolutely.
If never come back. So
cheers.
Love you so much.
Love you too. Bless you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello. Hey.
What's up, Nate? Nate, who's your friend?
Oh, this is.
I'm over.
Hi. Nice to meet you both.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. We were.
I mean, yeah, I didn't even have to leave my own home. It's pretty convenient.
Is there a place that you are like most excited to go to after the quarantine is over?
I mean, I'm not. This is going to sound ridiculous and completely not in tune with, I'm sure, what most people are feeling right now. But I'm so happy that I'm home. I'm so happy that I have such a large room around me at my home in Texas, where I've got some land and I've got some friends with me and some family. And I mean, I've always just wanted to build a arts commune anyway. So to me, this just feels pretty groovy. And but of course, there's friends and family in like, you know, New York or LA or, you know, places that I am, people that I'm missing and places that I'm missing. And whenever those start coming back online as options or opportunities to travel to, I'll be very happy to get back to them. But I'm really grateful for where I am right now and for what I have right now. And I'm good. I'm good here for a while. We'll see. We'll see when the world opens back up, you know?
Nice. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Absolutely. Y'all have a good day.
You too.
Hey.
What up, Amanicus?
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm on here with you. I am like
Believe it. You better believe it. This is real life.
I'm like shaking right now. Like my husband knows. He's with me and he's like, "You're crazy." He's like, "Relax." I'm like, "I can't relax."
It's okay. It's okay. It's good. Look, the only emotions that I don't think are groovy are inauthentic emotions. If you're authentically feeling something, if it's sad or happy or whatever, just do that. Do that.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So I just want to say, like, I love Shazam. My husband introduced me to Chuck. He's seen it 27 times, which is insane. And
Commitment. That's called priorities, folks.
And because I get so nervous about things, it's funny. During quarantine, I actually just finally put myself out there, and I actually tried out a beginner improv class, and
Nice.
it was so fun, but it like was terrifying at the same time for me because I'm quite shy. But I just want to know, do you still get nervous, and how do you handle it?
Oh boy, yeah, totally. I still get nervous. I mean, I think nerves ultimately, nerves are the product of, I believe, a strong mind, and a strong overactive mind, and a little bit of fear. And if that little bit of fear of basically how you're going to be seen or how you might be judged, or if you screw up, what will people think, and all that kind of stuff, that with the overactive mind, then you start generating all kinds of different ways that you might screw up or whatever. And then that creates that little bit of anxiety, which is nervousness, which is before you step on stage or before you go do anything. And so, yeah, I think, the only people that I know that by 40 have mastered their minds so much that they don't generate even the little bits, the teeniest little motors spinning on fear or anxiety, are like monks. You know what I mean? They're doing an hour of meditation minimum a day. They have totally zened their mind. They are not allowing fear or anything else like that to dictate to them how they ought to feel in a situation. They are dictating to their own bodies how their bodies should feel. Like these things you hear about where like monks in the mountains in the snow will take a cold, wet blanket. I've never even heard of that. They'll take a cold, wet blanket and they will put it over themselves. Anyone else would get hypothermia. They end up generating in their meditation. They can generate so much heat through their chi and whatever, their spirit. They can generate so much heat that it not only dries the cold, wet blanket in the snow, that it warms it, and then they're warm under the blanket. And you go, well, how is that even possible? And it's because, well, it's just like mind over matter kind of stuff. And if they can do that with a blanket in snowy mountains, you, my friend, can overcome the anxieties. I can overcome the anxieties that we face because we have to be able to look at it as the little lie. And it's a little lie. The lie wants you to think you're not good enough and that you're going to screw up and that people aren't going to like you. And that's what causes anxieties and things like that. And if you can go and look at those little lies and not be like, screw you. I mean, it's like, you hear people saying becoming friends with your trauma or like becoming friends with your fear and that stuff. Like, just look at it and say, oh, I identify you. I recognize what you are. You are those little voices in my head or in my heart that are wanting me to feel these things. And the truth is, the actual truth is, none of that is an actual truth. I don't know that I'm going to screw up. I don't know that even if I do screw up, people are not going to like me. Like all of that is just these what ifs that we generate. So the best thing to do to handle that, I find, is to calmly just identify what your mind is saying, because I believe another thing is, and this is a quote pulling from a novel called, what is it? Darn it. What is it? It's something. I'm going to think of it later. I'll think of it later. But there's a quote, really great quote. I haven't even read the book, but somebody quoted it to me. I put it on my Instagram a long time ago, but it's essentially that, and I'm paraphrasing, but you are not the voice of your mind. You are the one who hears it. So you have to be able to listen to a lot of thoughts that aren't yours. And they zoom through your head. Why did I just think to do that thing? Or you ever driving? This happens to, I think, all of us. You ever been driving and you're like driving along like a cliff and you just think to yourself, what if I just turned and did that? You know what I'm talking about? You ever have these weird thoughts? And they're not suicidal thoughts. It's like, not you want to hurt yourself. You just think to yourself, what if I did that? And you think, why am I even thinking that right now? And it's because our brains are insane computers. They're incredible. They're thinking all kinds of things. They're manifesting all kinds of situations. And so you got to go, oh, that's what it's going to do regardless. I just got to be able to know that it's going to be generating all these weird scenarios. And I'm going to have these weird thoughts. And some of them are going to be dismissive of my value as a human being and that I am able to love myself and not shame myself or shame others. And that's where those things come into our heads and we go, oh, I see what's going on right now. Nope, that's just bad programming. I'm going to recode that. And sometimes you need to keep, recoding every time it pops up until finally the glitch is out of the matrix and it's not in the system anymore. And you don't have that anxiety anymore because you realize that you are entirely lovable. And no matter, you could screw up the largest thing ever. And all of the people there might think, oh my God, what a horrible improvist. And guess what? It still doesn't matter because you're still entirely lovable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean,
you're welcome.
You make me so happy. You're so fun. I love your energy and we love you. So thanks so much.
Have a great day.
Abigail.
Hi.
Hi.
I first wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I know this your Saturday and you're taking time
happy to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So my question, during this isolation, we have a lot of time and we're all thinking about, past memories, things we used to do, we get to reminisce. So if you could go back to any episodes of Chuck, the filming of it, which would you like to relive?
Well, there's a lot of moments that I wouldn't want to relive, mainly because, some of them I wouldn't want to relive just because I wouldn't want to touch it. It was so beautiful. And other ones that I wouldn't want to relive because they really sucked. Like shooting on the top of a massive building in downtown LA at 4 a.m. on a helicopter pad on the top of the building, and the wind is whipping and the rain's coming down. That was not, we didn't want the rain to be a part of the show, and certainly don't want to be freezing. And me and Yvonne and Adam are up there, and we're being bundled up, and heaters are on us, and and then it's like, okay, rolling, and they're all being taken away, and we're having to do some scene and pretend like we're not freezing our asses off. Like those sucked. I would never want to go back to those moments. Yeah. But they made me, I think, a stronger person for sure. I think, if anything, I would just love to go back and just feel the warmth of that family. Like I loved that family. I loved that cast and I loved that crew. And, there were a few people along the way that I don't think I still have love for, but that didn't ultimately fit into what that whole family was but very few over the years. Almost everyone that ever worked on Chuck was an incredibly lovely person deep down and collaborative and creative. And we're still in touch today on some level. And, and that's another, like, I also don't think about going back to it a lot because I also know that it's still available to me. Like I can pick up the phone and talk to, or like we do the table read, like we did the table read the other day and or we pick right back up again. And I just love those guys so much. So yeah, going back to just the funny and silly stuff that we would do on set. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. It's awesome to know that you guys are really a family. We see it a lot in Chuck, and it's nice to know that it's truly there.
Oh yeah.
Hi from Florida and all of my friends and family who wish they were on the Zoom call right now.
Well, give them all my love, please. Tell them Zach says hey.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Sarah.
Hi.
What's up?
Hi. I don't know if you remember me. I kept my pinky promise. Still going.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm so
strong. You gotta do those pinky workouts to make sure your pinky working.
I just I hope you're doing well.
I'm great, thank you.
This is really great because I was actually supposed to get married in 2 weeks, and it was like a whole Tangled theme wedding. But right now it's been postponed until next summer.
That's okay. That's all. And trust in the timing of that. Seriously, trust in that timing. Sure. Yeah.
For sure. So I just want to ask you a quick question. If the trailer park heroes were in quarantine right now, what do you think? How do you think they would be dealing with it?
They'd be crushing it. What are you talking about? I mean, well, the trailer park heroes are fighting zombies, not viruses. So that's you can't really like fight a virus with guns. But the trailer, if we were in like zombie quarantine, trailer park heroes would be crushing it right now. I actually want to shoot like not trailer park heroes, but something similar to that on my ranch during this pandemic. I want to shoot like some like an alien invasion movie with a couple of friends or something. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. But would you want to watch that?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I'm in Vancouver, BC, but I'm like, when I tell my family all the time, I'm like, when Camp Wild World opens up and like public can go to there, we're gonna go, right? We're gonna go.
Oh, sure. Well, I can't wait to open it to the public. I don't know when that'll be, but I can't wait. But in the meantime, I'm hoping to make some content that we can at least like put online so that people can watch, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should start a podcast because
I'm going to do that
I love listening
at
to
some
your
point. I'm
lives.
going to do it. I don't know when. Maybe sooner rather than later. I don't know. I got a lot of time on my hands right now, so we'll figure it out.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mwah, good to see you. And keep that promise. Keep working them pinkies.
I will.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, thanks, Zach. We're just about coming up on time here.
We still got 5 more minutes, right?
You got 5 more minutes. You want to take another question?
Of course, yeah.
All right. Well, let's get somebody into the queue here, and we'll get this going. While we're finding somebody to pull into the queue, I do want to say thank you to Blue Sun Interpreting for helping us today and being the awesome interpreter you're seeing on your screen. And Kelly, go ahead and turn on your camera and ask Zach a question.
Hi, Zach.
What up,
I'm
nerd?
Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. Good to see you.
Thank you guys so much for doing this and Awesome Con and all that. That's awesome. And thank you for doing the Chuck read. Oh my gosh, that was magical.
Oh man, my pleasure. My pleasure for all of it. I love it. Look, all of us raising money for people that need money right now. It's beautiful.
It was amazing. It was so awesome to see, and everybody seeing you guys all. I was just wondering, have you ever thought about well, this is going to sound weird, but the love that Chuck has for Sarah when she forgets her life, forgets Chuck. Have you ever thought about that love being how Jesus loves us? Like Chuck was with her all the time. Didn't matter where she was at. If she forgot him, if she left, whatever it was, Chuck was going to be always. I was like, oh man, it's kind of like what Jesus is like. I
understand what you're saying. I've never thought about it because I've never correlated, Chuck to any messianic status. But also, as much as I love Chuck's heart and how honorable and loyal and all of that he is, and he did love Sarah from the beginning to the end, and I think ultimately that love, though we don't see it at the end of the series. I believe we are to believe that the retelling of, not just them kissing, but him retelling their whole journey brings her back up to speed, and she does remember, and they live happily ever after. But as good as Chuck's love was still quite incomplete. Chuck's love was still selfish in moments. Chuck's love was still weak in moments. Chuck's love was a human's love, and only a human's love. I don't know that he ever had the in that extra bit of enlightenment of what the depths of that love, from let's say just a spiritual Christian perspective mean, if that's in fact what we mean. And we know, as people who understand the concept of Christ, that neither principalities nor powers nor height nor depth or anything in between can separate you from the love of God, right? Well, there's plenty of things that separated Chuck from Sarah and their love. There were plenty of things.
But he didn't stop loving her, though.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, no, but also, he loved her, and then he also dated some other girls and stuff. I mean, because you can love somebody but not be in love with them necessarily. And again, even comparing any of these types of loves to God's love is always tough, because a lot of what Chuck's love is eros. And not necessarily agape, which is, and God's is all of it. It's agape and eros and What's the other one? The brotherly love. It's
Philia.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that all love is encompassed in all of those things, and probably even more, because what do we know? We're specks in nothing, and God is everything. So what do we even really know about God? But I do believe that if we are to believe that, an author of that exists, and that type of author is full of the concept of love, then it is absolutely got to be eternal and covers all things. And there is no flippancy in any of it. There is no hurt feelings. I do think a lot of people, unfortunately, I think, even within Christianity, we apply a lot of really petty human characteristics to God. And I don't understand why we do that. I don't, like, I understand. I talked about this on Instagram Live the other day, but, people talk about, like, there's even like a song or whatever about, God being a jealous God. And of course there's scripture that talk about God being a jealous God, but I think a lot of that's misinterpreted. I don't think God is jealous. I don't think God is concerned. I don't think if God is really the force, like from Star Wars, and in and through all things, and the mitochondria, and you know what I'm saying? Like, God ain't stressing. God ain't worried. God's not worried what you're saying or doing or the word. Like, that's why I always get so, like, really, you think God is concerned that I'm saying, let's say, fuck, right?
Yeah.
People get very upset about.
By the way,
these words.
does she flip you off when you say fuck? Because I swear it was the interpreter. Sorry, I didn't read it.
Oh no, she might have. Well, that might be what it is in sign language. I don't know. These girls are great. They're great. Have you ever seen them having to keep up with Michael Rosenbaum? It's a hoot. Anyway, so. So it's like, you've followed me long enough on social media, and we've met before, and you know all the people that kind of get wigged out a little bit. They're like, I thought you were a Christian, but then you say these words, and I'm like, hang on a second, guys. If you're still hung up on the word, then you are super putting God in a very, very, very myopic box, because the word doesn't actually, first of all, it's only offensive if you think that actual pronunciation of that word is offensive. And that's literally just cultural, first and foremost. That's like language. We say this word in that language doesn't mean anything. And in this language, it does mean something. So what does that mean to God? Clearly, we're just making things up, and you think God's like, oh, well, them over there think it's a bad word, so I, God, am now going to believe it's a bad word. Like, what are you even thinking?
Well, we rule the world.
What are you even thinking? So and I don't think God's hung up on that. And I don't think God's hung up on magic words. I think God is hung up on love. You trust God, or do you not trust God? Are you trusting that there is a thing that is bigger than you, that you should be very humble to and put trust in, like I'm trying to do the best of right now, like a lot of us are doing right now? What can you do but trust? Right. When our own governments don't know what the future holds, what can you do but trust? Right. When your schools can't take your kids, and you're scared to even go to the hospital with something else because you don't want to be exposed to what other things are there, like COVID-19. And what can you do but trust right now? I think this is a beautiful opportunity. Again, silver lining in all the pain and sorrow, but a beautiful opportunity for everyone to be practicing some form of trust in something. Like people who go to AA, it's like, listen, you don't even have to believe in a God. You want to put your trust in a chair, you want to do that, then put your trust in that. If you got to make that mental hurdle or pestle make sense for you, but know that you got to be humble to something, because you are, like I just said earlier in this, we are an infinitely small specks of sand in an infinitely large mosaic of infinitely small specks of sand. So.
But God can use you in huge ways, like He does for you. Like
absolutely.
You are being used.
Absolutely. And trust in that. And trust in that. Yeah. And stop worrying about. I know this has not. We're now very far away from your question. Well, actually, I love it. I wouldn't in the same world. Anyone who asks me questions at real panels at conventions know that I do just this anyway. And you can't shut me off. I mean, you could, I guess. I'm not hosting the meeting, but. But I think it's important, particularly in moments like this, that we reflect on loving ourselves, truly loving each other, truly loving our enemies, truly loving the people that we even think have put us into this, or that are responsible for getting us out of it. And a lot of them are not very good at their jobs. and we need to fix that, but we cannot dehumanize them or vilify them or make them monsters in the process, because that won't get us closer to a better world. It won't. We've been doing that way too long. We're in 2020, which I don't think is a coincidence that we're in the year of perfect vision, 2020 vision. We're able to see some shit for real right now. A lot of industries are being shaken up, and they need to be, and we're going to be able to apply grace and empathy and intellect and patience and kindness to these things, and we're going to reform them. We're going to make them better. We're going to make a better world in the process of doing that. But if we can't get over our version, all of our myopic versions of God, and if we can't stop shaming people with whatever that is, then we're also the most pious and zealous and religious of us are still going to be the problem in the world.
Yeah.
We have got to love. 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 We have got to love.
Hi, this is Aaron Ashmore, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe like now. Oh, and have fun and follow your fandom.